My name's Mark Gilman, I'm the Strategic Recovery Lead for the National Treatment Agency. We're here at the Chesterfield Hotel, Chesterfield, on the 14th of December 2011, spreading the message of recovery. I think it's been well received. There seems to be some traction, people seem to be welcoming the message, saying that people do recover, more people recover than don't, and they do it best by coming together in recovery communities to forge a future for themselves and everybody else.
Methadone has long been seen as the gold-plated standard to treat opiate addiction. Should we continue with this approach? Should prescribing be time limited? Should there be more access to community and inpatient detox? Should we let the client decide what's best for them? Should we look at other forms of medication? Currently, Derbyshire service users have to move out of the county to access residential rehabilitation. Should you be able to access residential care in Derbyshire?
20 years, you analyse a lot. You remember people, heroism. Many people come up to me and say that had they been there, they surely would have died. It makes no sense. Because until you're in a situation like that, you have no idea how you behave. By solitude without decadence or a single material thing to prostitute, it elevates you to a spiritual plane where I felt the presence of God.
Right, in an area where you live.
Told me about at school.
More methadone medication, training, education, employment opportunities, training volunteers, peer mentors or recovery champions. Will people in recovery be more visible? Would act as role models to others. You might become drug-free in the county where your addiction started. Is that an issue, or is that a pro or a con? There's a higher risk of relapse recovering in your own local area. I would definitely need to move away in order to overcome my addiction. Again, you may change your mind after hearing the speakers and doing the workshops. This is your answer this morning.
Yeah, today's is Derbyshire's first ever service user recovery conference. Exciting today that we can sort of pull people together and just show them that moving forward we're going to create positions where people can volunteer, they can become peer mentors, they can be paid recovery champions, they can have a say in the treatment service, and that we're moving away from a medicalised model very much to a sort of therapeutic and emotional intervention type, rather than just always fall into methadone as our default base for anything that's treatment basically.
Where it's more not just go down, get your medication and go. It's come in, sit down, talk, tell us what you're going through, and we'll try and help you the best way we can. And best thing about it as well, them people have gone through it, so you know what they're telling you. They haven't read it out of a book or learnt it. They do it off their own life experiences. So
every year, something like 300 medical doctors become opiate dependent in this country. 300. 50% of them are injecting opiates by the time they come into treatment. Have a guess how many of them a year later are on methadone maintenance. It's dead straightforward. And hand on heart, would you, if you were providing services, and I know this is a service user conference, but hand on heart, if the services you provide, would you use them? Would you use them yourself if God forbid you needed them? Would you send your children to them? Would you happily drop your children off at the community drug team, and say, well, that's as good as it gets? There you go. Because if the answer is, do you know what? They're not good enough for me. Then I tell you what, they're not good enough for anybody. People can get well where they got sick. Liverpool went through an epidemic of heroin addiction in the early 1980s. Liverpool is now going through an epidemic of recovery. Liverpool and Merseyside has got the highest constellation of Narcotics Anonymous meetings anywhere in the Western world. By going into recovery, making amends, communal amends, you can move forward and you can get well where you got sick, and you can live right where you live wrong. But the therapeutic value of one addict helping another, one alcoholic helping another, is without parallel.
I'm just going to leave you with this. If you're sat here now looking at me thinking, I might have a bit of this. A couple of things. This is what I was thinking when I was going up to Sheffield on the train. What we've got to lose. You can always go back to doing what you were doing. If you've done something for 20 years, I know for the fact I could get out of here, get in my car, drive to Manchester, walk in a pub and no one would even notice where I've been for the last 4 years. They'd probably say, oh, some drugs let it out now. I'd walk up, they'd still give me a pint of Stella and a brandy and coke without me even asking for it. So if you try it and you don't like it, your friends will always welcome you back. And the skills and the potential that you've got from maintaining a drug addiction are transferable skills. They'll be your strength and your assets. If you get one thing out of what I said today, I want you to go away from here realising that what I've done, you can do. And it doesn't matter whether you're a person in recovery, you're a service user, whatever you want to call yourself, if you're a commissioner, a worker, whatever you do, you can get involved in this. And if you did get involved in a recovery community, in whatever format, you'll witness people every single day transforming their lives and the communities and the families that they live with.
You're just going to say, so what is recovery for you two then, and we'll go from there?
It's hard, isn't it? It's a hard life. It's an hard life watching people you care about destroy their life. And there's nothing at all you can do to stop it, nothing. No matter what you try or what you do or how much you want it to, there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Because obviously I see her and the kids and I think, well, why aren't I pulling in the same way as the rest of the family? I keep trying to like pull away. And that's when I get depressed, beat myself up, and before I know it, I'm locked myself in the bathroom.
Bit there,
and I've got a needle stuck out my arm. Because that obviously upsets her, or what you're choosing drugs for over me and my kids. And you lie to anybody, tell them anything, do anything, just so you get that another hit, another hit, another hit. To block the real feelings out of life away. Because you can't deal to it, or there's nobody to talk to who can help you deal with it. Off all drugs and just someone to talk to, someone who I can relate to, who's been through the same thing and understands where I'm coming from and can advise me the best way they can.